Welcome to Russia and the world of ice racing for the start of the 1996 Grand Prix series. For the first two Grand Prix, we're in Krasnojarsk in the central Siberia, a large sprawling industrial and commercial city, originally built in the 1600s by the Cossacks and now featuring one of the largest bridges in Russia. The communal bridge across the Yenisei River, from which we can see amongst this marvellous landscape the stadium in which our modern-day gladiators will be racing. The big news here in Russia is that the American tobacco company Lucky Strike have announced they have found the first ever major sponsored ice racing team featuring two of Russia's leading stars and former champions Alexander Balashov and Vladimir Fadeev. Vladimir Fadeev took his second World Championship title in 1993. And Alexander Balashov became world champion for the first time at the Grand Prix of 1994 in Hamar in Norway. Obviously, two to watch in 1996. But as we watch the presentation in the central stadium here in Krasnojarsk, all eyes are on this man, the reigning world champion from Sweden, Olov Serenius. He's here in good company with a large Russian crowd, turning out to see their heroes taking on riders from 6 other countries. Let's take a look at the lineup. Olov Serenius with the number 1, the reigning world champion, with some tough competition this time. A lot of the competition from Russia, from other parts of Eastern Europe and from the Scandinavians. Always very competitive in the world of ice speedway. Grand Prix events. We're starting off with the Saturday's competition and a look at some of the heats. Heat number 4 will start off our series. Vladimir Lumpov, Valery Ivanov, Alexander Balashov, one of the Lucky Strike riders, and Olov Serenius. The helmet colours are given to them to set up their start positions, and the early lead goes to Alexander Balashov with the blue coloured helmet, the blue cover to his helmet. And he leads, Balashov leads ahead of the yellow colours of Vladimir Lumpov. And further back than we might have expected, Olov Serenius with the red cover to his helmet. Back in third position, the reigning champion. And not going quite so well here as we might have expected. 4-lap race as ever in ice speedway. And Alexander Balashov on the Lucky Strike machine, already establishing quite a healthy lead. Champion of 1994, finished runner-up last year to Serenius, and he comes through to take the win in the 4th heat. Balashov wins it, and with that he scores 3 points. Vladimir Lumpov in 2nd place takes 2 points, and Olov Serenius, surprisingly down in 3rd, gets just 1 point. The next heat, or heat number 8, we're going to look at next. And Vladimir Fadeev on the inside, he's got the red colours for this 8th heat, the second member of that Lucky Strike team. And another of the favourites in this first Grand Prix of the season. Great start from the outside, though. The yellow colours of Valery Ivanov surges through to the front. And Ivanov really made a stunning start. 2nd place for Vladimir Fadeev, but he comes through to take the lead from Ivanov. The spiked tyres of these machines still sliding through the tight corners here. It's a fairly short track that they have to contend with. Shorter than most. But those specially spiked tyres just giving them the amount of grip required to lean it down at these crazy angles in these freezing conditions, around about 25 degrees below 0. And the checkered flag is out, so it's a win for Vladimir Fadeev, with Kyril Drogalin taking 2nd place, Valery Ivanov 3rd, and Harald Simon from Austria 4th position. The next heat we're going to take a look at is heat number 10. The yellow colours for Juri Polikarpov. Polikarpov, the Russian, up against Sweden's Olov Serenius, Germany's Michael Lang, and Austria's Harald Simon. Polikarpov racing after a 2-year layoff from ice speedway. And not a bad start for him. He's up into second place, but he's challenging for the lead already. Polikarpov on the inside going into the far corner for the first time. Polikarpov comes through ahead, takes the lead from Michael Lang. And Polikarpov doesn't seem to be too rusty after his layoff. Michael Lang still chasing, the German from Trauskau, a regular competitor in the World Championships, but we've got problems. That is Harald Simon, out of the event. Looked like he had some sort of engine problem there. The win for Juri Polikarpov, and that's a great return for him. So on to the next heat now. Heat number 13 sees Stanislav Kusnetzov, Alexander Balashov, Harald Simon again, and Jari Ahlbom setting off. A very wide line from Stanislav Kusnetzov, and it seems to work because amazingly he actually goes right round the outside of that first corner, and Kuznetsov it is who leads with the yellow colours. Again the wide line, being chased down by Alexander Balashov. But Kuznetsov, it might be a slightly different line, different style to some of the others we've seen, but it seems to be pretty effective. Balashov unable to stay with him at the moment. And the win going the way of Kuznetsov. Stanislav Kuznetsov taking it from Alexander Balashov. 3 points for Kuznetsov, 2 for Balashov, 1 for Jari Ahlbom, and none for Harald Simon once again. Well, the crowd enjoying the top performances of the Russian riders, and they certainly are very, very competitive here as we get ready for the next one. Valery Ivanov, number 9, with the red helmet colours this time. Michael Lang, the German, on the outside. Viatcheslav Nikulin and Antonin Klatovsy also in there. Nikulin, the Russian. And away they go. Good start by the looks of things from Ivanov. Valery Ivanov with the red colours. There he is, Ivanov, being chased by Klatovsy. And it's a good battle, in fact, running a little wide there in that battle for second position. Side-by-side stuff. Antonin Klatovsy trying to make it through, but Valery Ivanov still with the advantage. Michael Lang right into the battle as well. Viatcheslav Nikulin not quite there, but he's now joined in the back of the group. Still up front, Valery Ivanov. Can he hold him off through to the flag? And Ivanov wins it. And right at the end there, Nikulin coming through to second position. That was an amazing performance after he'd been in fourth position for most of the race itself. Heat number 18 sees Valery Ivanov, Jari Ahlbom, Juri Polikarpov and Stefan Svensson from Sweden. Just waiting for Ahlbom with the white colours from Finland. Jari Ahlbom, the car mechanic. Less experienced than some of the big names around him. A good start from Valery Ivanov once again. But he's now coming under pressure from Juri Polikarpov. Polikarpov down the inside, and Ivanov's wide line not working so well there. Juri Polikarpov slides through. And Polikarpov once again looking very, very strong. These bikes, 500cc with the Jawa engines, getting up to speeds of about 50 to 60 miles an hour on the straights. This straights being somewhat shorter than the more normal ice speedway straights. This track a little shorter overall. And the Russians certainly enjoying a home advantage by the looks of things. Juri Polikarpov wins it from Stefan Svensson. In second place, Valery Ivanov, the fast starting man, dropping down in the end. So moving on to the final heat now, before we get into, well, the final qualifying heat, before we get into the last heats that actually give them the points in terms of the Grand Prix, the overall points for the Grand Prix and for the championship. Last qualifying heat then to see who gets into which final. The last final giving the maximum points in terms of the championship. Vladimir Fadeev on the outside here, but a great start from Alexander Balashov. Balashov it is who goes into the lead. Nail Galiakberov with the white colours to his crash helmet, up into second place. Vladimir Fadeev third, number 5 there. The ruts, so easy to get caught out, and they're losing a bit of time. Alexander Balashov. The track being cleaned after every 4 races to remove some of those ruts, but it soon cuts up. As soon as those studded tyres get out there again. That was Galiakberov, who so nearly came a cropper up at the top corner. And Balashov continues to lead this. Looks as though he's going to take the last win in the qualifiers. He comes through to win it, and in fact Fadeev comes through in second place from Galiakberov in third, and Michael Lang for Germany taking 4th position. So the top 2 there, Balashov and Fadeev, both guaranteed a position in the main final, which we'll be seeing in just a moment. Welcome back to Speed World. Welcome back to Ice Speedway, the first round of the World Championship season, and we're looking into the first of the final heats now. Ola Westlund on the left-hand side, Antonin Klatovsy, Jari Ahlbom, and surprisingly, Olov Serenius, the reigning world champion with the red colours to his helmet on the inside, has only made it through to this, if you like, last of the final. So it's been a disastrous first day of defence of the title for Serenius, and now trying to make up for some of the disappointment. The best he can do now is end up in 13th place overall if he wins this final, because we've got all the other finals to go and the points given away accordingly. They have to qualify through to the best finals to score the best points, and Serenius hasn't done that. It's been a difficult start to the season for the fireman from Hedemora in Sweden. He's had such a string of success behind him. Won the championship last year after finishing runner-up for the last few years. Not a youngster, in his late 40s now, but such experience and such skill, and the win, at least the consolation of the win in this fourth final. Serenius certainly not having a good weekend so far, and now has to sit and watch everyone else score more points in the other finals. Well, we're going to turn our attention to the last final, the major final of the day, and this for the top points for everybody's championship campaign. Juri Polikarpov, number 11. The Russian, the lucky strike of Vladimir Fadeev, number 5. And Alexander Balashov. And they're up against Stanislav Kusnetzov from Kazakhstan with the white colours on his crash helmet. So away we go then for the big final of this first race of the first event of the season. And it's a great start from Alexander Balashov with the number 2, but he's being challenged straight away by Vladimir Fadeev, his teammate. But coming through down on the inside, well, up into third place at least for Juri Polikarpov. Absolutely anybody's race at the moment in the early stages. Oh, there was nearly trouble there, as through into the lead goes Juri Polikarpov, taking advantage of the problems for Kuznetsov, who came through into the lead but ran a little too wide on the outside. And it's now Juri Polikarpov on the number 11 machine. Polikarpov looking good to take the win onto the final lap. Still the battle going on for second position between Kuznetsov and Balashov. It looks like Stanislav on the outside, Balashov on the inside, but the win goes to Juri Polikarpov, his first ever Grand Prix win in front of his home fans as well here in Russia. And a superb achievement for the young man. Polikarpov, the winner of the first round. Great deal of support for Polikarpov as he steps up to the podium. Polikarpov, the first winner of the 1996 Ice Speedway season. Can't afford to celebrate too much though, because they're straight into round 2, the same track, probably much the same crowd, just the following day. They're the final results and the championship points awarded accordingly. Polikarpov taking the 25, the maximum from Kuznetsov, and Balashov with Fadeev finishing 4th in that final and therefore taking 16 points. So on to the Sunday event then, and round 2 of the championship. Still extremely cold conditions, dropping down to around minus 30 degrees out of the sun, and the woolly hats definitely the order of the day. Cold temperatures perhaps, but a warm glow of excitement with many Russian riders in with chances of great results again. They've already seen the Russian riders performing superbly on the Saturday event, as we start off with heat number 3. Kyril Drogalin nearest us, number 6, Olov Serenius. See if he can do any better this time after his disappointments of the first day. Viatcheslav Nikulin and Igor Jakovlev on the inside with the red helmet colours. Good start from Viatcheslav Nikulin. Number 1, Serenius, trying to get in there, trying to make up for that disappointing run on Saturday. But meanwhile, it's a change of the lead by the looks of things. Yakovlev looking for a way through, but still up front it's Nikulin. Nikulin from Drogalin. Serenius can't seem to do much once again. He's dropping back in 3rd place once more, the number 1. He just can't seem to quite maintain the pace of the top riders here in Russia this weekend. Viatcheslav Nikulin, number 3. He's going to win this one, the first race of the Sunday. 3rd place in the World Championship last year. And he comes through to win this heat ahead of Kyril Drogalin and Olov Serenius, again down in 3rd place ahead of Igor Jakovlev. Next heat sees Stanislav Kusnetzov up against Vladimir Lumpov, Juri Polikarpov and Harald Simon. Polikarpov, remember, the winner of the Saturday event. Kuznetsov was also in that final. It'll be interesting to see who gets the upper hand this time around. Polikarpov, number 11, with the blue helmet colour, but up front initially is Vladimir Lumpov with the white colours, number 12, being put under pressure by Polikarpov, yesterday's winner, and in fact going through. That added confidence now from winning his first ever Grand Prix event. But no, it looks like, well, Lumpov almost coming back into the lead there, not quite making it through, and Polikarpov and Lumpov really pulling away from everyone else. I think Kuznetsov has had some sort of trouble. He's dropped back. Harald Simon still there. Kuznetsov's dropped out. And Polikarpov is going on to take the win here, to start off his Sunday campaign in much the way he left off on Saturday. Polikarpov wins it. Lumpov 2nd, Simon 3rd, and there Kuznetsov with engine problems. So the battle has to be put off for a little while. Has to have another chance in one of the later heats. 3 points for the win, 2 points for 2nd, 1 point for 3rd. And all of those points vital to qualifying through to the main final at the end of the day. Next heat, 5. Olov Serenius still trying to find that form that seems to have disappeared. Vladimir Fadeev, Stefan Svensson from Sweden, and Stanislav Kusnetzov, who had those engine problems just now. Perhaps he'll have more success. He's got the red colours on the inside. Serenius is on the far outside, nearest the camera. He slots into 3rd place, but launching himself around the outside, Vladimir Fadeev, number 5. Great start from him. Fadeev leads from Stefan Svensson. Svensson, the welder from Sweden, 3rd in the 1992 World Championships, but won in the team ice racing World Championships last year, Sweden taking the title, and Svensson part of that team. But he can't quite keep with Fadeev at the moment. "38-year-old Fadeev, twice world champion and taking the win in this heat." More joy for the Russian fans. Well, the Russian rider ahead of Swede, and once again Serenius was back down in 3rd place, and Kuznetsov struggling with another engine problem, so they still haven't managed to solve whatever his trouble was from earlier on. Heat number 6. Valery Ivanov on the far left-hand side. Jim Andersson from Sweden. Number 18, Igor Jakovlev. Number 13 from Russia. And another Russian, Juri Polikarpov. Saturday winner. He's back out once again. We've already seen him win one of the heats so far. Away they go. Round the outside, it's another great start from the number 9, or trying to be. Doesn't quite pull it off this time. Valery Ivanov. And Juri Polikarpov maintains the lead, and in fact Ivanov now coming under pressure and is passed by Igor Jakovlev, number 13. Polikarpov looking very, very confident now. Maintaining the lead, not having to take too many risks. Yakovlev in second place, putting in a stronger performance than on the first day's competition. But Polikarpov's going to make it another win, which he does, from Yakovlev, Ivanov, Jim Andersson taking third place. So the heats continue, but once again Polikarpov looking good. Perhaps he can make it 2 wins in a row here in Russia. To ice speedway, and we move on to heat number 7 on this second day of competition. Freezing cold temperatures, just perfect for ice speedway. Balashov, Alexander Balashov with Michael Lang, Harald Simon and Viatcheslav Nikulin, the 26-year-old on the inside with the red helmet colours. Third in the 1995 championship, makes a great start again, Vyacheslav Nikulin. But look round the outside, there goes Alexander Balashov, squeezes past. And what a superb move that was. Just finding enough space on the outside of Nikulin. Nikulin stays with him on the inside, but I think now that Alexander Balashov has managed to take control of this race. And that was a brave piece of riding around the first corner. Always the chance of being squeezed out, but he made it through. One of the younger competitors at this top level. 29 years old, from Leninogorsk in Russia, who cites pair Olov Serenius as his most feared opponent. Well, Serenius really hasn't been showing that sort of form at all here this weekend. And the win goes to Balashov. Vyacheslav Nikulin second, Michael Lang third, and Harald Simon fourth. Heat number 9. And Nikulin is back out again in this one. No rest. Stefan Svensson, Vladimir Lumpov and Valery Ivanov next up. Can Nikulin make up the disappointment of being beaten by Balashov in that last race? Nikulin on the outside this time, the yellow helmet colours, takes the wide line. Doesn't really quite get the start as he would have liked, and it's Valery Ivanov battling with Stefan Svensson. Up the inside now, there comes Nikulin. Nikulin now making the best use of the track, but it's side-by-side stuff. Good racing. Nikulin now has to put up the pressure from Valery Ivanov. Ivanov takes it tighter, hits the ruts in the middle part of the track. The wider line seems to be paying off for Nikulin at the moment. A little bit less rutted. Again, you can see Ivanov fighting the bumps, fighting the ruts. And now Stefan Svensson, number 4, looking to take second position. It looks like Vyacheslav Nikulin's going to win this 9th heat without too many problems. Second place to Valery Ivanov, and Stefan Svensson taking the final point in that qualifying heat. Heat number 10 next. Jim Andersson on the far left. Harald Simon, Vladimir Fadeev and Kyril Drogalin. Fadeev, the lucky strike rider. We've already seen some top riding from him. So let's see how he gets on. Blue helmet colours. He takes a good lead early into the lead for Fadeev. Being chased down by the number 6. That's Kyril Drogalin. Drogalin with the inner line now. Fadeev going wide. Now Drogalin looking pretty good on the inside. Fadeev almost a little too wide that time. These two putting on a good battle for the lead in this 10th heat. This time, surely no, he still doesn't quite get up the inside to take the place. Fadeev just maintains the narrow lead. But can he take it all the way to the checkered flag? Drogalin still applying the pressure, still looking for the little space to squeeze past, and he's found it. This time he found it at the checkered flag, and Drogalin just sneaks the win in the dying moments of that race. Kyril Drogalin, number 6, takes the win from Vladimir Fadeev. Jim Andersson 3rd, Harald Simon 4th. Heat number 11, our old friend Juri Polikarpov, the Saturday winner. And he's got Alexander Balashov to beat this time. Serious competition. Serenius, the reigning champion, who's been sadly off form. Ola Westlund, also from Sweden, on the inside with the red helmet colours. Balashov, who's made the best start. Now, what can Polikarpov do about it? Can he close it down? Number 11 is Polikarpov. We've seen him win a couple of times already on this second day. Overall winner on the Saturday. But he's got some serious opposition in the shape of Alexander Balashov here. Third place for Olov Serenius. Still hasn't got that bike working to his liking on this short track. And it looks as though it's going to be a fairly easy win, actually, this one, for Alexander Balashov. Neither of these two, Balashov nor Polikarpov, have yet dropped a point, but this time it's the win to Balashov, so Polikarpov, and he gets the 2 points instead of the 3 for the win. Heat number 12 gets ready. Michael Lang from Germany on the left. Igor Jakovlev. Then Nail Galiakberov and Stanislav Kusnetzov. Kuznetsov, who had that good run on Saturday. Oh, and almost getting into trouble there. Kuznetsov lost time and coming through on the inside, trying to take the lead from Yakovlev. In fact, Yakovlev just goes through. Around the outside now, Kuznetsov making up for that earlier mistake. Chases after Galiakberov. Galiakberov still in second. It's still Yakovlev leading. And now coming right round the outside is Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov, unbelievable pass around the outside there to take the win. Fantastic from Stanislav Kusnetzov. He made the mistake on the opening lap, but just kept the throttle open around the last corner. Snatched the win from Yakovlev. Galiakberov 3rd and Michael Lang 4th. Heat number 13, Stefan Svensson, Juri Polikarpov, Kyril Drogalin and Michael Lang. Watch for the battle between Polikarpov and Drogalin. We've seen both of them performing very, very well. They're both in the middle. White is Polikarpov, but it's a better start from Kyril Drogalin. Drogalin with the blue colour to his helmet. This time around, the blue cover. Oh, and going around the outside, Juri Polikarpov, but just catching a rut. And that just seemed to throw him slightly off balance. Had to just back off for a fraction of a second, just when it looks as though he was going through. Fantastic control from these top ice speedway riders in the world. The bike moving around all the time. In front now is Polikarpov. Ahead of Drogalin. Drogalin now on the inside. Onto the final lap. Surely Polikarpov is going to win this one now. Oh, he's gone a little wide there. Drogalin looking for the way through. Polikarpov just has to keep it smooth, keeping it in tidy, but coming up the inside, Drogalin just nicks it on the line. Another very close finish. Kyril Drogalin sneaks the win from Polikarpov. Next up then, Viatcheslav Nikulin against Ola Westlund. Stanislav Kusnetzov, watch out for him once again, and Jim Andersson. Kuznetsov, the blue cover to his helmet. And it's a good start from him, round the outside. Viatcheslav Nikulin though, side by side these two. And Nikulin trying to go all the way, long way round again, but across the line at the end of the first lap. Just the advantage to Stanislav Kuznetsov. We saw him snatch a win just a couple of races ago on the last corner. And he looks highly motivated here today. Kuznetsov pulling away now. Really got the bike working in these conditions. Ola Westlund and Jim Andersson, the two Swedes, third and fourth. But Kuznetsov is just flying up front. Kuznetsov's going to win this heat. Oh, and it's a crash right coming around to take the checkered flag. Andersson, that is. Jim Andersson making contact with Ola Westlund through the last corner of the win to Stanislav Kuznetsov. But, well, there is Jim Andersson. He's okay. Walks away from that one. I'm not too interested in having any help. Just caught the rut there. In fact, that's what really caused the fall. There was a little bit of contact, but he was already on his way at that point. And angry with himself after throwing it away. Heat number 15. Vladimir Fadeev on the left, Igor Jakovlev, then Alexander Balashov and Vladimir Lumpov. Fadeev and Balashov, two teammates. And the start for Balashov, one of the two teammates. Fadeev's right behind him. On the inside as well is Yakovlev. Oh, and that was nearly a big disaster for Vladimir Lumpov. He just caught the rear wheel coming out of that top corner. And look how much time that's lost him now as the battle up front continues. But it's Balashov, Alexander Balashov, who leads his teammate Vladimir Fadeev. These two lucky strike riders beginning to pull away now. Don't think any team orders apply though. Each man for himself as they go into the last lap. Balashov runs wide out of the corner and Fadeev gets the inside line. Oh, they're side by side. Great stuff between these two, but can Fadeev just sneak it? Yes, he can just sneak it. Vladimir Fadeev narrowly beats his teammate. He's heading towards the finals, still a few more to go. Harald Simon on the left, then Nail Galiakberov, Valery Ivanov and Olov Serenius. Serenius with the red cover to the helmet on the inside. Any improvement in form this time for the fireman from Sweden, who took all before him last year, but here is not enjoying a great start to the season. It's not a good start to this race either. Going around the outside, Galiakberov trying to find a way past to Valery Ivanov. Serenius meanwhile, oh, and that was very nearly a problem for Galiakberov. Got it all recovered, saved it, holds on to second place. Now on the inside. Can he dive down the inside of Ivanov? No, he can't. Not yet. Serenius still taking that wider line. Valery Ivanov onto the final lap. Holding off Nail Galiakberov. Digging in the ruts. The knee catches the ground, but it's going to be Ivanov who wins it. From Galiakberov, Serenius third, and Harald Simon with engine problems in that one. Heat 17, and Igor Jakovlev Up against Harald Simon once again, Ola Westlund and Stefan Svensson. Away they go. On the inside, the red helmet, Stefan Svensson, one of the top Swedes. And he gets out in front of Ola Westlund. Fellow Swede ahead of the Russians at the moment. The crowd won't be quite so keen on this. Svensson still just maintaining it. Oh, and it's getting very, very close now as Jakovlev begins to move up. He's up into second position. Just about into second position. And he takes the lead, does he? He's side by side. The crowd love this now. Their man's challenging for the lead. Side by side stuff. But can Jakovlev take it all the way to checker flag? Svensson's dropped back unless he can get up the inside into the last corner. He can't quite make it. Igor Jakovlev keeps the home fans happy. Beats the two Swedes into second and third positions. Great performance from Jakovlev there. We move on to heat 17, heat 18 next. Vladimir Lumpov against Michael Lang, Jim Andersson and Olov Serenius. Serenius down on the inside. The red cover to the helmet. And away they go. Michael Lang going around the outside, number 7. But Jim Andersson well up at the moment. Bouncing around on the in. Oh, and in trouble there, Andersson. Some sort of problem, suddenly dropped back. The leader must have had some sort of engine trouble there. He just suddenly dropped back. And now we have a completely different battle for the lead. Second place is Serenius. Slightly better performance from him, but leading it is Vladimir Lumpov. Number 12 with the yellow cover to the helmet. And Lumpov really has managed to open up quite a big advantage now. Lumpov's going to win this one. Heat number 18 from Olov Serenius, Michael Lang and Jim Andersson, who obviously had some sort of trouble earlier on. Packed crowd enjoying some great ice speedway and some great action from their home riders as well. Valery Ivanov, Stanislav Kusnetzov, Kyril Drogalin and Alexander Balashov. We're looking at some of the top riders now in this, one of the last of the qualifying heats. Valery Ivanov with the early lead. Immediately under attack from Kyril Drogalin on the inside. Stanislav Kusnetzov trying to go around the outside. And Alexander Balashov in there as well. Right round the outside there, Kuznetsov. We've seen him do that before. We saw him do it at the end of one of the races to grab the lead. But it doesn't seem to be quite working at the moment. Balashov's in second position now, challenging for the lead. Balashov, number 2, trying to find a way past. Balashov comes through and now is in the lead just onto the final lap. But can Balashov keep it all together? He's got the two of them hounding, trying to go around the outside. Doesn't quite work. And Balashov should just have enough in hand here. Yes, Balashov wins it from Kyril Drogalin in second. Kuznetsov taking third. And Kuznetsov falling after the line. Other riders go to his help, but it looks as though he's okay. Bit of damage to the bike. Gets a lift back to the pits. Paddock. And Kuznetsov coming a cropper after the checkered flag there. So, on to the last qualifying heat. Galiakberov, Viatcheslav Nikulin, then Polikarpov, Saturday winner, Vladimir Fadeev, been in top form. on the Sunday. Fadeev on the inside. Nearest us is Galiakberov. But as they set off, it's a good start for Vladimir Fadeev, number 5. Juri Polikarpov is right on the inside. Can Fadeev open up in a lead now? This is all vital points to try and get through to the big final, to score maximum points in the championship, and through goes Polikarpov. Takes the lead from Fadeev. Oh, and it's so rutted on the inside there. Galiakberov getting into a bit of trouble. Polikarpov from Fadeev. Not much in it between these two. In fact, Polikarpov running a bit wide there. Just look at the bike, bucking and trying to take itself out of the rider's control. But in fact, Polikarpov coming through to win from Fadeev, Galiakberov and Nikulin, 4th. So, into the finals. The final heats that will give points for the championship. They've qualified through to these finals, but the first final that we look at will not be giving away many points. These the lowest point scorers of the day. Jim Andersson, Harald Simon, Vladimir Lumpov and Michael Lang. Great start from Vladimir Lumpov, number 12. Gets ahead of the number 7, Michael Lang. Lang has a little go down the inside. Lumpov happy to keep it wide. Now then, Lang has a chance perhaps. Gotta just keep it under control. Almost squeezes Lumpov out there. And this is good riding from the German, but can he keep it there? On to the final lap. Lumpov looking for a way to get back past again. He's running out of time. Michael Lang, oh, he hits a rut, gets it out of shape. Oh, and Lumpov wins it on the line. Well, that's got to be the advantage of being in front of your home crowd. That little extra bit of oomph, and poor old Michael Lang just making a little mistake on the last corner, just hitting the rut. The bike stood up a bit, and that was all that Vladimir Lumpov needed. Through to the next final now. Positions 9 through to 12 in the overall competition on the Sunday. Ola Westlund, Olov Serenius. Well, he's made it through to a slightly better final than he did on Saturday, but only by 1. And again, he's not going to be scoring many points in the defense of his World Championship. Stefan Svensson and Valery Ivanov. Valery Ivanov it is who leads. Svensson trying to get down the inside of him. And Svensson takes the lead. Ivanov again running wide there. Serenius, number 1, still not really on the pace. Battle for second place as going up the inside, Ola Westlund gets past his fellow countryman, Stefan Svensson. But it looks as though a win for Svensson. In fact, that was Ivanov that Westlund got past, so Svensson takes the win. Stefan Svensson from Ola Westlund, a Swedish 1-2 ahead of Valery Ivanov and Olov Serenius. Serenius still not really quite on the pace there. The penultimate final now. Stanislav Kusnetzov, Viatcheslav Nikulin, then Igor Jakovlev and Nail Galiakberov. For positions 5 through to 8. And it's a great start for Nail Galiakberov. Galiakberov leading from Yakovlev. Yakovlev, tighter, cleaner on the inside, takes the lead. Galiakberov back to second behind them. Nikulin and Kuznetsov doing battle. Kuznetsov, the victim of a couple of engine failures, but he has been very, very quick. Doesn't look as though it's quite got it in him now to catch up to the leaders. Igor Jakovlev it is. And Yakovlev looking good for the win from Galiakberov. Kuznetsov's taking third and Nikulin in fourth. So on to the grand final. Maximum points for the championship at stake here. It's an all-Russian final. That keeps the fans happy. Kyril Drogalin in the yellow. Vladimir Fadeev with the white cover to the helmet. Juri Polikarpov, the winner of Saturday. Alexander Balashov on the inside. Three of these riders were in the final on Saturday. Kyril Drogalin is the new addition with the yellow colour on the outside. But going into the first corner, great start from the number 11 of Polikarpov. Balashov got himself into a bit of trouble. Polikarpov running wide, but a great second corner from Vladimir Fadeev. Fadeev it is, but now coming down the inside, Kyril Drogalin. And closing up after that initial mistake, Alexander Balashov. Balashov, who's ridden so superbly on this second day. Can he get into the battle for the lead as the battle changes up front? Kyril Drogalin goes ahead of Vladimir Fadeev. Fadeev comes back again. Very fast out of that last corner on the inner line. This is what it's all about. 25 points to the winner of this final. And they're almost all four together as they cross the line. But it's Vladimir Fadeev who takes the win ahead of Kyril Drogalin. Alexander Balashov up to third, and the winner of Saturday's event, Juri Polikarpov, going down to fourth place in the end. Fadeev, the winner though, with Drogalin second and Balashov third. The two teammates ending up on the podium, Fadeev and Balashov. And Fadeev taking the 25 points to add to the points from Saturday. So close competitive racing in the first two rounds of the Ice Speedway see the championship table with Vladimir Fadeev ahead of Juri Polikarpov, well in fact tying with Polikarpov, both on 41 points after two very successful days. Balashov third, Kuznetsov fourth, but look at Serenius way down in 13th place on just 10 points for the reigning champion. They go to Frankfurt in 2 weeks, and we'll be keeping track of them on Eurosport.